Hey guys, this is Coach Alyssa from Isabella Fitness, and I'm going to take you through a workout today. All right, so first off, our skills today are going to be jumping jacks and standing knees to elbows. All right, I'm going to go through more about those skills later, but this is going to be very cardio and core based kind of workout. All right. So for our warm-up, first thing I'm going to have us start with is going to be some high knees. All right, so for our high knees, we're going to bring our knees and drive them up into our chest. All right, so for me, because I am in an apartment, I'm not going to try to do these too loudly. So if I'm doing them a little bit slower, just know that that is why. All right, I'm going to have us do 50. Good, and that is 50. All right, I didn't drive my knees up too high. I think the higher they went, the more jump I got, the more noise I would make. All right, so 50 high knees, legs are getting a little bit warm, just getting a little bit warm in general. We're gonna go into a hollow hold next, all right, just to get our core working. All right, so you're gonna come down to the floor. All right, and from here, for a hollow hold, all right, there's a couple of different options. All right, we can tuck in here, bringing our hips a little off the ground, bringing our shoulders off the ground, and hold here with our arms to the side. We can hold here with one leg out, one leg in. All right, same thing with our shoulders applies. We should be feeling our back completely flush against the floor here. There shouldn't be any room back here, all right? And then the hardest modification would be here, all right? Arms nice and long and legs nice and long at the same time, but always maintaining this back position. All right, if for any reason we do have a natural arch in our back here, we're not gonna feel our core working, so we do need to make sure that our lower back is pushed against the floor. All right, so I'm gonna have one leg out, one leg in, and we're gonna hold for 30 seconds. Good, and come on up. This should be very challenging, all right? It should be very challenging. We should feel our core really lit up at this point, all right? So that'll help get us nice and warm and get our core working before we get started into the workout. All right, next thing I'm gonna have us do is get into a quick little seal stretch, just to stretch out a little bit. All right, so we're gonna come tabletop here, arms out in front of us, and then we're gonna actually allow our hips to sit through and come all the way through. We are gonna keep our arms nice and long and straight and just let our hips kind of dip down. We can move side to side here. Get a nice stretch in this position. All right, what I like to do is I like to be mobile in my stretches, so I'll come out almost into a little child's pose here, feel a big stretch here, and then come back into the seal pose. All right, so we'll do a couple of these, and then we'll go into talking about how our workout's gonna flow and our movements for the day, how we wanna do them, and what skills they involve. All right, might spend an extra second here in my child's pose because it's feeling really good today. A lot of it should always depend on, how you're feeling, listen to your body. Also depending on what you're doing next. So what we've done previously, stretching that, as well as what we're going to do today and preparing our muscles for that. All right. So our 2 movements for the day are going to be standing knees to elbows, as well as jumping jacks. Since jumping jacks is probably one that we are very familiar with, I'm going to talk about that one a little bit more first. So say that you are in the same situation as I, where you might have somebody living below you. If you are worried about making a lot of noise, jumping around, you can always do side step out, all right? I'm gonna just do some light jumping jack hops here. Move nice and slow, and just try not to make too much noise, especially on like hardwood floors. All right, so I'll be doing that. But our jumping jack, if you're not sure what it is, all right, feet coming out, arms coming up overhead, and then arms and legs coming back into our side. All right, we're just gonna be going through that motion today. All right, so in our workout, the flow is going to be 5 minutes of work, 2 minutes of rest, and then another 5 minutes of work. And our reps are gonna change from the first part to the second part. All right, we're going to do 40 of our standing knees to elbows in the first part, and then 80 jumping jacks in the first part. And then reps will go down for the second part, 20 knees to elbows in the second part, 40 jumping jacks in the second part. All right, and we'll do that as an AMRAP, as many rounds as possible of those 2 movements with those reps, depending on if it's part A or part B. All right, and I'll announce what rep range we're doing each time right before we go into it. All right, so let's talk about those standing knees to elbows. So standing knees to elbows, all right, we're pretty much going to be creating that hollow position, but from a standing position. All right, so we're creating almost that crunch, that hollow position here. All right, so I'm going to have my elbows up because I'm going to be bringing my elbows to my knees. All right, and then opposite arm to opposite leg, opposite arm to opposite leg. All right, so I'm driving my knee up to meet my arm, my elbow. Now, do they have to directly hit? No, they do not, but we want to at least be close to them. Getting this motion, we should be getting this twist in our torso as we do them, as well as this forward motion to create that hollow position with our body. All right, so just to practice, I'm going to do 20 of them and show you guys what they're going to look like. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. All right, so that's going to be our standing knees to elbows. All right, so first part, which we're going to go into in a minute. 5 minutes of work. All right, if you need to take a quick rest, take a quick rest. These reps do not have to be unbroken, especially for the first part. They are a little bit longer, right? So 40 standing knees to elbows, 80 jumping jacks. See how many times that we can get through this in this first 5 minutes, all right? Then we'll have a big 2-minute rest, all right? So I'm gonna reset our clock. All right, and we are gonna get started. All right, so right into 40 knees to elbows. And that was 40 knees to elbows. So you'll notice I really didn't rush them. I was really making sure I got that twist on each one, making sure that we're not just driving our knees up super high. All right, we do want to come down and to the side, come down and to the side. Even without bringing my knees up, I'm feeling that just from this motion. All right, and then eyes can just follow with us, right? We don't have to be looking up. We want them to stay down in that crunch position with us. All right, so now I'm gonna take us into 80 jumping jacks. All right, starting to feel the ground shake below me, so I'm gonna switch it up and bring my leg out. These may take a little bit, because 80 is gonna be a lot, especially if you're modifying like I am right now. Now I've done 50 so far. I have about 30 left. So these rounds are definitely gonna take a while. We may only get into our second round during this part of the workout. All right, but I'm gonna continue working. Definitely gonna keep our heart rate up on this one. Good. All right, I hit that 80 mark. So now I'm gonna go right into my standing knees to elbows again. Again, still doing 40 here. All right, I just did 30. I'm gonna take a short break and then finish up my last 10 here. Whew. All right, just did my last 10. Got about 30 seconds left, so I'm gonna try to get as many of my modified jumping jacks as I can in before the time, all right? We're actually gonna make it onto that third round. And rest. I got about 27 in of my jumping jacks. All right, so surprised that we made it onto the third round, but by all means, maybe our second round went a little bit quicker. All right, or should I say, we were on our second round. What am I saying? All right, so definitely slowed down a little bit in the second round. All right, which is gonna happen. Our heart rate is already skyrocketing from our first 80 jumping jacks, right? And then our standing knees to elbow is more of our skill, just starting to feel our core light up a little bit. All right, it's about 5:40-ish right now. All right, so we're on our rest period. We got about a minute left, and then we'll be hopping right back into it for another 5. All right? And that'll bring us to the end of our workout. Now this time, the reps are gonna be a little bit different, right? So we may get through a couple more rounds because it's gonna be 20 standing knees to elbows, and we're gonna restart up from the top again, not continuing where we left off, all right? And then 40 jumping jacks. So we may get through more rounds. We're going to be going and alternating between movements a little bit more often, just because the reps are a little bit shorter. We won't have to break them up as much. All right, and we should have had a pretty good break here, kind of rest, relax, get a few breaths in, let our heart rate come down a little bit before we get back into it. All right, so over the next 25 seconds, just do some deep breathing. Maybe grab some water. And then now in about 10 seconds, we'll be back up starting with our standing knees to elbows. All right, so I'm gonna get set up for that. All right, in 3, 2, 1. All right, finish those 20. Now I'm gonna move on to my 40 jacks, modified. This is definitely turning into an arm burner as well with all these jacks. Already halfway done. I'm gonna shake out my arms and then finish out those last 20 of the jacks here. All right. All right, that is the last 20 of our jacks. All right, now we're gonna get back into our standing knees to elbows. I'm definitely not feeling as fatigued as before from those higher amount of reps, so this should feel pretty good. Maybe we have a little bit quicker transitions up until the end here. Again, we're doing 20 here. All right, and that 20 is done, very quick. All right, I'm gonna shake out my arms and then back into those jumping jacks. I'll probably split these up 20 and 20 again, just to take a second. All right, that is 20. All right, and then I'm gonna go into our next 20. All right, we're coming up to having about 2 minutes left. All right, so I'm really gonna try to push through here. And that is my second bit of 20. All right, right into those 20 knees to elbows. All right. Actually got an extra 2 there. All right, because it just felt really good. got about a minute left. I'm gonna try to get all 40 of these jacks in. Going straight into it, straight through. All right, and that is all of them. 15 seconds left. I'm gonna get a few knees to elbow. And rest. All right, guys, good job. We did 5 minutes, which was probably the toughest part. So many reps in that first one, all right, which really fatigued us. We needed to break it up a little bit more. These last 5 minutes, a little bit easier to maintain because of 20 and 40 not being as bad as our 40 and 80 from the first round. All right, I'm gonna have us go into a little bit of a cool down. All right, definitely gonna need it. Bring our heart rate down a little bit. All right, so first thing I want us to do, we're gonna just slowly bring our hands down our body, and we're gonna go into a forward fold. All right, so just letting our head and neck rest here. Letting our back just round down, relaxing, resting here at this bottom point. This should feel really good after this one. All right, and then I want you to lean into your right foot, right side specifically. All right, lean to that side, feel a nice stretch. Then move to the left side. Feel a bigger stretch on that side. All right, we're gonna walk ourselves up really slowly, one piece of our back at a time. Coming up to standing. We can bring our arms out. All right, bring them up and then bring them back down. Breathe out. And again, in our forward fold position. All right, from here, I'm gonna have us bring our hands out. We're gonna walk the hands out into a walkout, into a seal pose at the bottom. So walking the hands out and then landing, hips down to the floor in our seal pose. All right, bring our feet back under, bring our hips back up. Walk it back in and to standing. And then one more time, back down. Walk the hands out into our seal pose. And feel a big stretch here. This should feel really great after that workout. Always remember to continue breathing through these stretches. And then the last movement for our cool down is going to be knees getting nice and wide, hips coming back. We're really going to sit in to a nice pose.
Our head up. We're gonna come into a pretzel position. One more time, bringing our arms up overhead.
Breathing in and breathing out.
Hands to our side. Nice job, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for this workout, and I'll see you guys in the next one.